Hi there, welcome to another Team Clueless Battle Report. Today it's myself and Nick who is down there frantically gluing together his new Ork models. So we are playing a mission today, which is a variant on one of our favourites that Nick and I often play. We often play a game called Monster Hunter, or a variant of. Today we're playing a variant of that called Dragon Hunter.
What are we hunting today?
We are hunting the Great Dragon, or the Greater Dragon. Now, I'll show you the data sheet so you can kind of have a read of that, and you must sit in there thinking it's got 20 wounds, a 2-up save, look at all the damage it can deal, it's unkillable. So what's it got? Strength toughness 7, it's got degrading weapon skill, degrading movement, starts at 16 and it flies, so it's really fast. It's got a breath weapon, which is an auto-hitting assault d6, strength 7, then 6, then 5 as it goes down. 5 attacks in close combat. It can use its tail sweep to have lots of extra attacks against little stuff, kind of like a knight in that regard. It's got a 5-up invuln save to go over its 2-up normal save. If you try and target it with psychic power, on a 4+ it can deny that, and at the start of every psychic phase, due to it being a magical beast, it gains a wound back. And also, every time it loses a wound, it has a 5+ to ignore that lost wound, so kind of like feel no pain. So it is monstrously hard to kill. That's kind of the idea that we are hunting. Now, brace yourselves for the immense, amazing model we're using to represent this fabulous beast. Oh yeah, there he is in all of his glory, my old high elf dragon. Quite nicely painted, slightly ruined by the green base. I don't know what I was thinking back in those days. Okay.
Everything had a green base?
Yeah, everything had a green. Well, it's not so much the flock. I don't mind the flock. It's the fact the sides are painted bright green. It just, yeah. I could repaint it, I hear you saying, but not going to. I am looking to get a bigger dragon model to use in such games, because we use this one quite a lot, and it is just a bit weedy. Was a nice model back in the day, but no longer. So, what are the other mission rules, I hear you say?
I know them, you told me them.
Oh, damn it. So, we're playing a Monster Hunt variant. So, we set the game up, the dragon starts in the middle. We will each have a side, just because it's easier to play that way. I'm going to go over here, because hopefully the shiny light won't be quite so bad. That's better. So, ways we get victory points. You get a victory point every turn if you manage to deal the dragon a wound or more on your turn. Okay, so it should be reasonably easy-ish to do. Victory point for that. If you are the one who kills the dragon, deals the death blow, you gain another victory point. Let's see if it actually dies. You get 2 victory points if at the end of the game you control the corpse of the dragon, so it has to have died, and it then counts as an objective that you can control. You get +1 victory point if the enemy warlord is dead. Nick, who's your warlord?
Glasgow!
Excellent. Mine is my Deathwatch Watchmaster. And then you get 1 point for each dragon egg you control. I shall come to dragon eggs in a moment. So a few other special rules we have are Glory of the Kill. If you kill the dragon, you gain an extra command point, because, hey, you've killed a dragon, man. Don't care what you hit. So you can target stuff. I'm going to go down here. You can kind of have a read as well if you like. If you can target stuff that you're not engaged in close combat with, so if the dragon and Nick are in close combat, I can still shoot into that combat, but you roll on this little table down here. I'll have a chance of missing, and then a chance of hitting Nick, and a chance of hitting the monster itself. Then we move on to Dragon Roost. So we have placed 5 Dragon Roost tokens on the table at the start of the game. There is one who is just underneath, you can see it just underneath the dragon there, at the very centre. One over there, my helpful dolly dealer is pointing.
One there.
One down there, in another building. You notice they're all in buildings.
One in that deployment
One is in this building down here,
and
one is in there. So, if at the end of your turn you control one of those Dragon Roost counters, you can roll a d6. On a 5+, you manage to find a dragon egg. If you find the dragon egg, you remove the Dragon Roost token, because you have searched that Dragon Roost and found what is there. You give the egg to one of your models. It's kind of like a relic, but not quite as restrictive on how it moves. You can pass it to any friendly model within 2 inches of you at the end of your movement phase. You can drop it at the end of your movement phase as well if you wish. And if it is unattended on the floor at any point, it can be picked up by any model moving within 1 inch of it at any point, as long as that model isn't engaged in combat. So if there's an egg on the floor and you two are fighting over it and you consolidate into it while still being engaged in combat, you cannot pick it up. So they are the eggs, and they were victory points at the end of the game. So now we move on to how does the monster work? So it works kind of like our normal monster, which has this little bit of a flow chart here, which I'll show you. So Unless it is already engaged in combat, each monster resolves the following 2 steps at the end of each charge phase. Okay, so every close combat phase, basically. You first of all do, did the monster take a wound? If it did take a wound, it moves towards the closest unit that dealt it a wound. So if you shoot it, it gets angry, it comes to eat you. If it didn't take a wound, it randomly moves half its movement value in whatever direction you choose from a scatter dice. Then, after it's done its movement, are there any units within 12 inches of that monster that it is able to assault? This monster flies, so it can assault more or less anything. If the answer is yes, then it will fire its ranged weapons at that unit. This thing has a 10-inch range flamer, and then it will attempt to assault them. If the answer is no, it will move d6 towards the closest unit that dealt it a wound this turn. If it didn't take any wounds, it does nothing, so it advances a little bit in that kind of way. So basically, if you attempt to kill it and hurt it, it will move towards you and attempt to assault you. Otherwise, it will move randomly and eat stuff that's near it. But this one is a bit more, I call the rule unpredictable beast. So at the start of every player's turn, they have to roll a d6 to see what the monster will do. On a 1, the monster stays where he is. So if he's engaged with you in close combat, he'll stay engaged. If he's just standing in the middle of nowhere, he'll stand in the middle of nowhere. This is in addition to the other table. So this monster can move around a lot. But it is a Quicksilver Dragon, so it's supposed to be moving all over the table. On a 2, it moves half its movement back towards the centre of the table where it started. So it unengages itself from combat. It can still happily re-engage and fire its breath weapons later on, but it just moves back towards the centre. These rules are partly here so that if the monster moves into kind of like your army, it doesn't stay there forever just attacking your army, which we found in some other Monster Hunter games can be an issue, especially as Nick is pretty aggressive. On a 3, you remove the monster from the table and place it back in the centre of the table. On this little chart I've got at the end of the turn written down there, but then I realised that whoever's turn it was wouldn't get to score victory points, so those at the end of turns aren't in effect. Number 4, remove the monster from the table, place it on a random roost token. So it goes back and it will go to one of the roost tokens. We'll roll to see which one, so you don't know where it's going. On a 5, move the monster towards the closest unit carrying an egg, at its full speed, that is. So having eggs is dangerous. On a 6, remove the monster from the table and place it 9 inches away from a random unit carrying an egg. So if you've got an egg, it is coming for you. If no units are carrying eggs, then the result of 5 equals the result of 1, so it stays where it is, and the result of 6 equals the result of 2, in which case it moves back towards the centre of the table. So that's only if nobody's carrying eggs. So there we have the monster and everything he can do. He's basically going to be moving around the table. We're going to be trying to kill him. We're going to be trying to kill each other. We're going to be finding eggs. We're going to be controlling corpses. All kinds of fun stuff. Let's go and see what armies we're bringing. Okay, so here is my 2,000 points of Deathwatch with a small allied detachment of Astra Militarum just to give me some bodies on the ground because Deathwatch is so expensive. So we have our Warlord here. He is a Watchmaster. Then we have another HQ of a Terminator Librarian. He's got a Combi Melter and a Force Axe. He's going to have the Tomb of Ectoclades, which is the relic that helps people nearby. He can kind of like give them a different preferred enemy type of thing. It's Deathwatch have an ability where I choose a kind of like an army slot, so HQ troops, whatever, and my whole army can re-roll wound rolls of 1 versus them, but models within 6 inches of him, or units within 6 inches of him with his Tome of the Ectoclades, can use that ability versus a different one each turn he chooses. Then I also have a Primaris Apothecary. Now, this guy may not look like a Primaris Apothecary because he is a little short in stature. But the Deathwatch, unfortunately, do not have the option for a normal Apothecary. And as you can see, I don't really run any Primaris units. But I wanted an Apothecary, so I'm using the Primaris Apothecary rules with him. All it means, basically, is he gets an extra wound and attack over a normal Apothecary would, if the Deathwatch had them. But he cannot go in any of the transports, which is a bit annoying, but I can live with it. Then we have our troop choices. So we have this squad here. They are mounted in the Corvus Black Star, which we'll get to in a minute. We have a Sergeant with Storm Shield and the Xenophase Blade. We have a Terminator with a Power Fist, Melter Gun, Heavy Flamer. This guy here is a Vanguard. He's got a normal Thunder Hammer. It may look heavy, but it's just a normal one. We've got a Biker with a Power Sword. And then we have a, what's he called? A Black Cloak, can't remember exactly. He's got a Storm Shield and a Power Fist. We have 3 guys armed with shotguns. One of them has a Storm Shield. Next squad is this one here. They have a sergeant and 4 normal guys, all armed with stalker bolt rifles. We have a Terminator with a Cyclone, Thunderhammer and a Storm Shield. And we have a Vanguard veteran with a chainsword and a bolt pistol, just so they can retreat from combat and still shoot. Then we have the last squad, which is the biggest. They are mixed up in a Land Raider Crusader, which we'll come to. They've got a sergeant with a combi melter. They have 2 guys with thrag cannons. They have 3 guys with chainswords and storm bolters. They have 2 Terminators. Each of them have got storm bolters. One's got a power sword, one's got a power axe. And then we have 2 Vanguard veterans, one with power axe and bolt pistol, and one with lightning claw and storm shield. And they are riding around in a Land Raider Crusader. So we'll do this big boy over here. He's got all the toys on him. He's got twin-linked assault cannon, 2 hurricane bolters, and multi-melter. We have this guy. He has the 2 anti-vehicle rockets, a twin-linked assault cannon, hurricane bolter, and the Auspex array. Lets him reroll 1s when shooting at ground targets. Then we have 2 dreadnoughts at the front here. We have a very old dreadnought, but he's not venerable. He's just normal. He's got an assault cannon, a storm bolter, and a power fist. And then we have a venerable dreadnought with twin-link las cannon and the missile launcher. And then rounding off our points, so that's 1,750 points of about 20 models. And over here we have 32 models for about 200 points. So we've got a commissar with power fist, a commander with bolt pistol, 3 squads. One of them is a sergeant with a chainsword and 9 lasgun dudes. And then 2 exactly the same squads. There's sergeants with bolt guns, plasma gunners, and 2 las cannons, 1 in each squad. And that is my army.
And I'm bringing along the Orks today. New Codex points, but obviously, and some of the new rules. The Codex is actually...
Whatever we can find on the internet.
Yeah, the Codex is actually out tomorrow. So, well, so we managed to get the points, so that's what I'm going on. So, we're being led by Gazzy, who's costing me 20 points more now. It's just terrible.
You're using all the new Orc cultures and warlord traits and things because you've got access to all of those.
So we're being led by Gazzy, and I'm using my war boss on a bike as he's actually the new guy that's on a trike because he's got 3 wheels.
That is true. When I built him years ago.
Yeah, you built him with 3 wheels.
Foresight.
So they're my 2 HQ choices. We also have a unit of 10 shooter boys there with Knob with power claw inside a truck. We have a unit of 20 slugger chopper boys inside a battle wagon with a cannon.
Yep.
And we have a unit of 21 Ork boys, well, shooter boys, and there's a big shooter in that unit as well. They are just on foot. We have 2 units of 3 meganobs, both are in a truck each.
I think they come down quite a lot in points, haven't they?
The meganobs, yeah, it's the meganobs were, if I work out, 105 points for the 3 meganobs.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Yep, and the trucks are cheaper as well, so it's 65. It's 170 points, well, 169 points for that a unit 3 meganobs in a truck.
That's a lot better.
So
the old man's missile.
We've got 10 tank busters in a truck. We've got a Death Dread. And we've also, because I have bought, it's just down there. Yeah, I bought Speed Freaks. So we're using the Dragster out of it, and the, what's the other one called? The Custom Booster Blaster.
Yeah, the names are going to take a little bit of remembering, aren't they?
They are indeed. So I've got those 2 out there. That's what obviously they're not fully built and what have you. That was the Custom Booster Blaster. When I made my army up in like 10 minutes this morning, I went, I haven't started building that.
Yeah.
Quick! So I've rushed and built a little bit, so it looks like it's on there. And it's on the big oval basis, so the base is, as we just worked out,
yeah,
about
that's the Dread Knight base.
It's the same sort of size as the truck and everything. So the army's looking good. Oh, I also forgot, I've got 6 bikers down here as well,
nice.
just 4 bikers.
You're all Goths today, aren't you? Because you're being led by Gazzy.
Because we're being led by Gazzy, yeah. I've gone with Goth, so we see that. But certain things I've pointed out whilst making up the army. I say trucks are cheaper. Ork boys are more expensive, but there's so much stuff that's cheaper.
Yeah.
I feel as if I'm having a horde army again, even though I'm in vehicles.
Oh, you may not have seen them, but you also get to take now on boys. You get to take a tank buster bomb.
Ooh.
1 boy in every 10 boys can take a tank buster bomb, and it costs no points. So just assume you've got.
Yeah, I assume I've got tank buster bombs.
Which is, I mean, they're not brilliant, but at close range, you throw them as a grenade. They do a lot of damage if they hit.
The Ork boys have gone up a point per model, but because the power claw has gone down 12 points, you're not really losing anything. So 10 Ork boys.
And they gained all the specials. They've got the new Daka Daka. They now re-roll either or all of their charge dice
Yeah.
instead of have to re-roll one dice.
Yeah.
Now if you roll 2 ones, you can re-roll both of them.
Yeah.
They've got all the cultures, which are really good. Loads
Yeah,
of good stuff.
I feel as if, obviously, I know I generally take Gazzy anyway. I know,
Yeah.
but I feel as if I can make up the different
armies you need to.
armies. Yeah, I plan when I get the codex, and I get more of the new buggies and things. I'm going to try and make a proper Speed Freaks one, led by the Tricons, just loads of bikers and everything. I think that's going to be an army I want to try. I want to try Goths. I want to try them all basically, just to see what I prefer. And I know it's a different situation. Even the Death Dread with 4 Dreadclaws, he's been in the last 3-4 videos I've been taking him because he's been so good. He's now even better because he's cheaper.
Yeah, he's so deadly.
And he's a lot cheaper. The Death Roller is basically coming back into effect on the battle wagons.
Yep.
Again, because I haven't seen the proper rules and what have you for it, I'm just using it. It's not actually a Death Roller on that, so we shall go there. But we'll see how we get on with New Orks.
Okay, so we have finished setting up. Nick is on this side, basically because it was nearest his army, and I was on that side because
We didn't even roll off. We
didn't. We just we're close to those. Excuse the paper, just scattered all over the table.
Rules everywhere.
Okay, so what have we got? Let's go down Nick's army first. He's got his dragster thing this end.
That's the custom blaster. The dragster's the
Okie dokie.
That was the unit of shooter boys.
Shooter boys. Then we've got Slugger Chopper in the battle wagon.
Slugger choppers in that one.
Tank Busters in the middle there.
Tank Busters in the middle there. Death Dread in the middle. Bikers with the trike behind it.
Yep.
Big blob of boys of shooter boys. Meganobs in that truck, and Gazzy and Meganobs in that truck.
I mean, you will notice
And the
that
dragster.
of all of Nick's units, which one is furthest back? Yes, it's the green-skinned coward himself. Might as well paint him yellow. Gazzy is hiding behind the rocks. So, what have I got? Starting at this end, I've got a squad of guardsmen down here, taking advantage of a bit of elevated terrain. Then I've got my Shooty Deathwatch squad and the Apothecary in there. I've got my flyer, and it's got inside it the close combat Deathwatch squad. I've got my normal dread there, Land Raider with the other kind of like close range shooty squad in it, with some guardsmen lined up in front. Both my guardsman characters are down here. We've got another guardsman squad at the end there, and we've got the dreadnought with venerable dreadnought with las cannons and missile launchers there. I have a librarian in reserve. Oh, where is he? He's at the back there. Librarian in reserve. My Watchmaster is also in the Land Raider. I have this to place though. Ooh. This is my teleport Homer. So with this I can teleport back to this once again. If you come within, I think it's 12 inches of it, might be 9 inches, this is automatically destroyed. So I can put this, I'm going to plonk it down there, I think.
Yeah, the camera's not pointing at the label.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Let's
camera's
pretend it was.
The camera's just pointing in some random
I
direction.
have put it down there, so it's quite close to this thing, so I can get back there if needed. But it's also useful because you can pull things out of close combat if you want. So a very handy bit of kit. Okay, so Nick has won the roll-off to go first, so he's chosen to go first. So I am now going to steal initiative on camera. Let's see.
Made the tray open for
Okay,
you.
I'm going to use the big white dice. It's easier to see.
Oh!
Oh yeah,
Oh.
initiative is stolen.
Oh, damn it!
Let's see how many of those green skins we can kill. We'll come back in a minute where there'll be half that many models on the table. So it's the end of Deathwatch and Imperial Guard turn 1. What did we do? So the first shot of the game, my venerable dreadnought over here saw the shock jump dragster, is that right?
Yeah.
I can't remember, it was on the table for so little time.
It's a dragster.
He saw it attempting to flank round the corner here. It was bright yellow, so it was really hard to miss. So I levelled my twin-link las cannon missile launcher at him. Bang! First firing action of the game.
New model syndrome!
Took it out. I wanted to get that unpainted stuff off my table. So that died. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to take out Nick's other unpainted model, but I'll get to that in future turns. So I started over there. I then, because you get a victory point for every time that you wound the dragon, so if you wound it in your turn, you gain a victory point. So I decided I had to try and gain the victory point as I could get behind. So I fired this las cannon from this squad over here at the dragon. Managed to get it through, dealt a wound. In fact, no, the plasma gun did the wound, didn't it?
I think the plasma gun.
Yeah, the plasma gun got the wound through. So we hurt the dragon. The dragon then, on its move phase, leapt over here. And once it moves towards the closest squad that wounded it, it then attacks the closest squad, which was my unit of bog standard infantry guardsmen there. It flame breathed them and then tail swiped the rest in combat, wiping them out to a man. Okay, so that was bad, but I did gain a victory point for it, and the dragon has taken a wound. Then, what else did I do in my turn? I fired the Dreadnought here and the Land Raider. They fired at the bikes there. I took off half the bikes, and I multi-melted the Dreadnought, got it through, and did 1 damage.
You've also something over there.
Oh,
took
yeah.
Out 3 boys.
I took out 3 boys. Then coming this way, my flyer moved to midfield so it can threaten other stuff later, and fired mainly into that truck and at the battle wagon. The battle wagon made its saves. Nick's used the new stratagem to give him cover across his army as he's going second, which helped out the battle wagon, and also helped out this truck a bit as it managed to survive fire from my flyer and fire from my shooty squad with the Cyclone missile launcher in it. This squad over here also tried to plick the dragon. You can just about see it, or you could just about see it through the windows of that central roost there, but didn't manage to hurt it much. And that was the end of my first turn. Let's see how Nick goes. Shall we do the dragon movement? Yeah.
What was the rule for the dragon regaining wounds?
In the psychic phase, it automatically gains a wound back because it's a mystical creature.
Right, okay, so it's the start of my turn, start of movement phase. I have to roll a d6 to see where the dragon's going.
Okay, let's see what happens.
A 5.
Ooh.
The monster moves towards the closest enemy carrying an egg. So if no units are carrying an egg, then a 5 becomes a 1. The monster stays where it is.
Oh
yes!
Shit. So that means the monster is staying put there. Luckily, if Nick wounds it, which you may want to do for the victory points, it will then move towards him. Otherwise, it will move randomly and will likely eat something on my side of the board, like a Land Raider. Although it's not good versus a Land Raider, but still. Let's see what happens during Nick's turn. Okay, we come back in as we just realised that my unit held control of one of the dragon roosts at the end of their turn. So we rolled, and I've got a dragon egg down here. I've got to go and grab a token for it, but that means the result Nick rolled for the dragon, which is move towards the nearest unit of a dragon egg, has taken the dragon from there, and it has jumped to the other side of the Land Raider and the Dreadnought now, and is bearing down on these guys. So we shall see what happens.
End of Orks turn 1. I've had better turns. Not sure if
I've had a lot worse turns.
I have had worse as well, but we basically come moving up here. We've gone basically charging up into the centre. The truck obviously lost a lot of movement, so he's only come over to there. The Death Dread waiting for the dragon to return to the centre.
Yeah. You could have shot the dragon if you wanted it back.
Yeah. Both the Meganob trucks have moved up. Boys just stayed put. I shot most things into the Dreadnought and did bugger all damage to it. Mostly because my bikers and moved up with the war boss, and because the bikers had lost half the damage, they lost half the shooting, and if Curly had another turn of shooting at them like he did, and I would have lost the bikers for doing nothing, so I charged them into the Dreadnought. The war boss didn't make it, unfortunately.
In with his reroll.
In with the reroll. So I put 2 wounds in to the Dreadnought, because I only got 1 power claw through and 1 normal boy hit, and the Dreadnought just squished the bikes. The war boss was the one I wanted him to do damage, but I did use the trucks and that. I shot down the guardsmen there with the with the Meganobs and the trucks, and with you failing your leaderships, left you with just the las cannon in that unit.
Yeah, my guardsmen have gone already. They're there as a shield, but they're already gone.
Obviously, nothing that shot. That shot the thing. The battle wagon just also tried shooting at the Dreadnought. Over here, this truck with the shooter boys and the new vehicle that's still alive, they shot into this unit of guardsmen, and you lost 2 more to leadership as well. So I've whittled this down to plasma gunner and las cannon in this squad as well. The dragon moved along to the edge of this building, and because my battle wagon was the closest, it's charged into my battle wagon, unfortunately.
Didn't do much, though, did it? It did like 2 or 3 wounds.
No, all 5 wounds got through, but you only 5 hits got through, but you wounded it once. So it did D3 plus 1, and it did 3 wounds to the battle wagon in the end.
Could have been worse for you.
Could have been a lot worse. So end of turn, I picked up the dragon egg here with this custom blaster. The Death Dread has picked up a dragon egg. and the truck with the Mega Knobs has picked up a dragon egg.
Nice.
The Ork boys failed to pick up theirs, so I've got all the dragon eggs from the centre. So that's a lot of VPs at the end of the game if I can hold them. But let's see. It's going on to obviously Deathwatch and Imperium turn 2. Do you want to do the roll for see what the dragon does on camera?
Do the roll.
So
Nick and I love our little table, don't we, Nick?
Yeah. So this is where the dragon is going to start.
So what happens to the dragon? Number 5.
Oh
Move
dear.
the monster towards the closest unit carrying an egg.
There's the Death Dread.
Oh dear. He goes, my eggs, my eggs. And leaps into the air and lands within, well, just outside an inch of the Death Dread, but he's going to tear him a new one, maybe.
Maybe.
The Death Dread is pretty deadly himself.
So now it's a case of if Curly hits him, he's going to go off to the closest unit that's done him a wound.
Yep.
If Curly doesn't wound him, he will move in a random direction.
Yep.
And then obviously assault the closest unit. So he could move back and go towards the Death Dread Land Raider.
I
He could move over here
of
towards.
keeping away from him and letting him try and take out the Death Dread, which was one of my targets.
Which was obviously my also thing,
Yeah.
which is why I didn't hit him, because I was hoping he would move in a random direction towards your units as over your side. But let's see how their turn 2 goes.
End of Deathwatch, turn 2, and it wasn't a good one. So I had a priority this turn. The battle wagon was there, full of 20 Scar boys who are strength 5 boys with slugger chopper, like 4 attacks each. I had to kill them. So I put bloody everything into this battle wagon. So I deep struck in my librarian.
Didn't do the dragon.
I deep struck in the librarian. He smited the battle wagon. I got a 6 and a 2, so I re-rolled the 2 to try and get up to Mega Smite, which I managed to do. I took a Perils, though, which did me 1 wound, that's fine. I rolled a 2 on my D6 Smite damage, so didn't take it. I then used the Malleus Doctrine on the squad that hopped out of the Corvus Blackstar, which is a close combat squad, but they got a load of shotguns and they got a melter gun and such. They all hopped out. I gave them the Malleus Doctrine, which is +1 to wound this turn. He used his Tomb of the Ectoclades to give reroll 1s on wound rolls. We loaded everything into the battle wagon. Didn't kill it. So then we decided to fire some other stuff. I fired the rockets from my Black Star. I actually did 3 wounds with them. And my assault cannons utterly cocked up and did 1 wound to a truck with a twin-linked assault cannon. So then I had to fire all of these guys at the battle wagon. Still didn't kill it. That wasn't good. There's 2 more crack missiles, a load of bolt guns and stuff. Over here we had a bit more success. This guy here, he got 2 hits down at the battle wagon, the truck over there. Nick made a save on one of them, and then I rolled 1 damage on the other. Then we had the Mega Knobs truck with Gazzy in. We unloaded the entire battle wagon, plus 2 frag cannons from there. Got it down to 2 wounds, so then we had to assault cannon it with my Dreadnought here. Again, far too much firepower to deal 8 wounds to a truck. Nick had left his war boss, unfortunately, out in the open on his own. So, because I disembarked this squad from the Land Raider, they are bristling with Stormbolter shots. And we managed to just about take down the
last guy.
war boss using my Watchmaster's relic spear thing, his Guardian spear. So, a load of firepower into 3 targets. I managed to kill 2 of them. I then obviously assaulted over here and put the battle wagon out its misery. But I really wanted to be able to assault the boys, not the battle wagon. So
there's 4 boys
that's
missing
not so
from
clever.
that, so there's only a squad of 16 now.
Yep. That is okay. I think we're in combat now because I get to consolidate after the battle wagon thing and then close combat you. So you don't get to charge me at least, but I don't get to hit you at all. So, oh no, I won't do that. I'll consolidate the other way because then you get to hit me otherwise. So that is us done, I believe. I didn't get any more eggs, but Nick did manage to escape the eye of the dragon. I didn't hit the dragon at all.
From the Death Dread.
So the dragon hopped over here and then attempted to charge back in at the Death Dread, but failed his charge and failed to breath weapon it. So it is over to Nick.
End of Orks turn 2, and it was better than the first turn. This truck come flying round to here, and the new buggy thing, because it's got the dragon egg, went behind this building for a bit of cover. The big shooter and half the shooters went into the las cannon here and took it out because the big shooter left it on 1 wound. The other 5 went into this squad, did nothing. I fired the big blob of orcs and the buggy into this unit, Deathwatch, and did nothing. The unit charged into them. I lost loads during the I'll do video again in 1 second because the phone call's going. So returning back to turn 2, sorry for the phone call there. So yeah, I charged in. I lost loads in the Overwatch, about half the squad.
You've got a heavy flamer, 3 Deathwatch shotguns which can fire basically.
So I had 18 attacks with the normal boys and 3 with the power claw, and failed to kill a single model.
I tanked them all and
then
Terminator, didn't I?
And then the attacks backs actually wiped them all out to the man.
Yep.
So obviously they still have
pretty deadly. I didn't go. That went better than I expected.
Yeah, I was hoping to. I didn't think I would. I thought I'd be locked in combat.
Yeah.
But
I expected you would kill maybe half of them.
Yeah, actually, the only thing that's happened is the Terminator's taken a wound.
The fact that I got the 2-up save on the Terminator to tank the basic hits is really powerful.
Tank Busters in their truck moved slightly over this way. Death Dread moved around.
I think you should explain your plan for the turn, Nick.
Kill the dragon.
What did you do, Nick?
I killed the dragon! Basically, where Gazzy come out, he come over with the Mega Knobs. The Death Dread come in. I unloaded whatever guns I could from the boys, the Mega Knobs, Gazzy, the big shooters, and the tank busters. The tank busters, I used the stratagem, so they could, on a 5+, they had the extra thing. And I only did 1 wound to it in shooting.
Yeah.
It was on 19 wounds.
Oh.
And then Gazzy in combat, killed it. I had to spend my last 3 command points for Gazzy to be able to attack again.
Yeah, but it was worth it.
It was
14 Gazzy attacks.
14 Gazzy attacks. And when Gazzy did his second attack, the dragon was still on 7 wounds.
Yeah.
And I only got 3 attacks through, which was 9 wounds. And it has a 5 up to ignore wounds. So he had to pass 3. It passed 2. So there is a dragon corpse there.
So Nick's gained a VP for killing him.
Yep.
1 for wounding him this turn.
So...
But he's also got the Dragon Corpse, which is now an objective on
Yes.
his side of the table, and he has 3 of the 5 skulls.
So I'm only on two VPs, because I only gained the 2 this turn. This truck ran away, because I say it has got a dragon egg. The Death Dread's got a dragon egg, and the new buggy here's got a dragon egg, so that could actually die to them.
I need to put some serious pressure on this turn.
It's what survives here, I think, this turn.
If I can kill Gazzy this turn,
I
think I'm going okay. If I fail to kill him, he's going to roger this entire side of the board. So I've got to kill him. You've got no command points left, which makes killing him a lot easier.
So, so that's Gazzy. That was my turn done. So, very good turn.
Okay. Imperium turn 3. As Nick had killed the dragon and moved ahead on VPs, I had to go fucking at him this turn. So all of my Deathwatch squads just moved forward. This squad here, the Librarian advanced and smited the truck carrying the tank busters to death. This squad had kind of moved, positioning itself between the tank busters and the funny dragster thing back here. They fired back with their melter gun and their flamer and the shotguns and managed to take out the dragster, dropping a dragon egg to the floor. I killed a couple of the tank busters as well. Over here, this squad who have I say they kind of let me down this game. They haven't been brilliant this game, but they've never got to fire at much infantry. They've constantly fired at vehicles, and firing at vehicles with a bolt gun, no matter how good the bolt gun, just isn't that useful. The Cyclone missile launches is doing okay. I've taken that down to 5 wounds, but it's not enough, I fear. Over here, this is where the damage was really done. I moved my big shooty squad forward and unleashed hell on the Mega Knobs and the tank and the Death Dread. Took out the Death Dread and mullered all the Mega Knobs with my combined frag cannon and Stormbolter fire.
It took all 3 units to finish them all off though, which was quite good pleasing.
The Land Raider and the plane fired down at the boys over there, their Hurricane Bolters and Assault Cannons, and have taken out a fair chunk of boys, but not as many as I'd have hoped. The Dreadnought, he fired in, I think he may have been, can't remember what he did actually.
He did a wound to the, 1 wound to the
Death Dread. He was trying to take out those. My Dreadnought over here is backed off because Nick's still got 3 Mega Knobs hiding in here and fired over there at that. I used the stratagem to make me more accurate, but unfortunately it's my wound rolls that let me down, and it's down to about half, but it's still got an egg, which is a problem. And then we charged into combat with Gazgul. I was really hoping that my Watchmaster would get in so I could re-roll to hit, but he failed to make it, so I wasn't as accurate as I'd hoped. I popped the stratagem to give me +1 to wound versus HQs, but I just couldn't get through his armour and his invuln saves. I dealt him 3 wounds, but I did, using a command point, manage to tank more or less all of his attacks back on my...
I hit with all 6 attacks, and you failed the first roll with your Storm Shield. You had a 3-up invuln, so you command pointed that,
and then you took 4 of the hits, so I only killed 2 people.
Killed 2 of my Marines. They're the first Deathwatch members to die this game, though, so Nick was quite happy about that. But I am locked in combat with Gazzy, and I'm not sure I can kill him, and I think he can probably kill me, because I've got no Storm Shield left to tank on. So we'll see how we progress into Nick's next turn.
End of Orcs turn 3. My truck has come scooting around the back here and picked up this dragon egg. So we're obviously trying to get away from them. The problem being is this unit. I did fire into them, but Terminator made his saves.
He's been the boss, hasn't he?
Yeah. This truck here come running far away, so the other dreadnought over there can't reach him. He fired his big shooter into that unit as well. Over here, Meganobs have run back, coming away from the dreadnought, obviously, to try and come around, because they're going to need to get to this corpse at some point as well. Obviously,
the corpse is going to decide this game.
Yeah, them and the boys shot at the flyer because they had nothing else to shoot at, so didn't do anything to that. Then the boys, rather than staying here to claim this egg, or attempt to claim the egg, which I was tempted by, came into the combat with Gazzy, because obviously, depending on what was left, that lot can just shoot. I mean, okay, they were going to shoot at Gazzy, but I've got a boy there now. And Gazzy went in, killed a load. The Power Claw came in, killed some more.
Yeah, the Power Claw killed 4 on his own. He was brilliant.
You failed your morale to start with, but re-rolled, and these 2 guys are left here. Unfortunately, you can jump out of combat, and there's a frag guy there.
Still shoot, because I've got my Vanguard veteran still in there.
Gazzy is the closest model. He's going to fire at him. Let's see how turn 4 goes.
End of Deathwatch turn 4 and end of the game. So just to very quickly go over, I basically moved all my units right up into Nick's grill and just opened fire.
Yeah, the Psyker did 3 damage to...
Yeah, that's what really tipped it, I think.
Yeah, he smited, Gazgul did 3 damage, put him down to 2 wounds left.
Which I then killed him in close combat with these 2 and used all my guns.
The Dreadnought basically got the 1 wound through to kill it.
And I just murderised everything else. Nick technically has a truck left, but it's not really counting.
Yeah, because your guys here just shot the truck and killed that. Then you got other guys over there. Basically put the boys down to 2. Leadership just went and that killed them.
It was just the amount. I mean, I've got Deathwatch aren't very good versus vehicles, as we found out in the first couple of turns. I was struggling to kill trucks and things.
It took you a turn to kill the battle wagons.
But when your boys are out on foot, a boy on foot against the Deathwatch that's wounding on a 2+, rerolling 1s.
I just did really badly trying to damage any. I mean, an entire turn at a Dreadnought and did nothing to him.
It was,
in the first
and it's
turn.
the Terminators I have in all my Deathwatch squads, my 3 Deathwatch squads. Just tank all the wounds, don't they?
I mean, this squad, I could have done more to
You fired so many shots at this squad, and we have 1 Terminator on 1 wound. Okay, I used a couple of command points maybe to re-roll a couple of failed saves.
This squad only died because of Gazzy.
Yeah. No, the Deathwatch, I mean, we'll get to the Orks in a minute because there's new stuff for them, but as just quick comment for the Deathwatch, they're like playing Marines that feel a lot more like Marines. The fact you've got your different shots with your bolt gun make your bolt guns into actually a really dangerous gun. And the fact that you can mix the squads means I've got power weapons everywhere, I've got extra movement everywhere.
You've got the extra movement, you've got the jumping out of combat, you've got the Terminators for the protection.
They're super expensive, but but so versatile.
It's only a small army you're ever going to take with them, but they are just...
They are boss, they feel powerful.
They're very hard to kill. I mean, as you said, with Power Claws, I wasn't able to get any units into combat. If I could have ignored the dragon and gone into your squad and charged into your squad.
But you kind of like killing the dragon, don't you? It's moral victory. Gazgul's now killed a pig, a tiger, a dragon, a Stegosaurus, a T-Rex, a bloodthirster,
spider.
Yeah.
He's done the alien as well.
So that was that. So what did you think of some of the new Ork stuff you tried? You didn't really get to use a whole lot of it because I killed your 2. I killed your 2 buggies early.
The Dragster, I didn't use at all. You killed it first.
That was the model I was really scared of. I mean, it's an Ork vehicle, can move 14 and still hits on a 3+. With D6 damage weaponry. It's really good.
It's good against vehicles.
Yeah.
Hence why it was over there, Land Raider, Dreadnought and things. I say, didn't get to use it, so I can't comment on that. I do like the idea of, though, if you roll a 4+ on your advance, it just teleports to... Yeah,
it gives Orks a load of real table-wide mobility.
It then teleports 9 inches away from an enemy model. On a 4+, then it can take a moral wound. The other one, I just didn't roll well enough to hit with the rivet gun.
No, you
But
kept on
plus
hitting the flamers were really good the time they got into range.
The flamers got, I managed to get the flamers into range. I possibly could have got the flamers into range on this unit, but I was trying to stay away because I had the egg.
Yeah, that's it.
And obviously, I could have moved slightly further away. It wouldn't have made much difference, really. But the rivet gun, I never really rolled well enough for the rivet gun for it to do anything. The boss didn't get into combat, so
No.
It was nice the fact that I had the warlord that he had a 5-up invuln save to prevent wounds.
He just got stuck in the middle of nowhere, didn't he? And then I just gunned him down.
Because he failed the charge with the bikers. He was just in the middle of nowhere, so he didn't actually get to use any new units. I like the fact that a lot of stuff is more stuff cheaper than there is more expensive. Okay.
Yeah.
Gazgul's an extra 20 points. Yeah, okay, I can see that. Gazgul's worth.
And he was still well worth all his points. He soaked fire, the +1 attack. He's phenomenal.
The fact that the Death Dread is 100 with 4 claws is only 115 points now.
I really like the Mega Knobs now. I think they're cheap enough to be good.
The trucks are cheaper. It's 65 points for a truck, 64 points for the truck, rather than 70 odd points for the truck. The Battle Wagon is cheaper.
And this is...
I start to feel like I can have a horde.
I just remembered. We didn't use your Goth tactic the entire game.
No. Learning curve.
This is when you're playing with information on your phone, not in a codex in front of you. I reckon Gazzy would have probably killed at least those 2 more Marines there. Yeah, that's something to remember because we were in combat over here. You'd have done more hits.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but as I say, as you say, it's information on phone.
Yeah, that's it. The codex is actually out tomorrow, so we'll be able to look properly then.
We've done it through leak information that Games Workshop presented. So, so we thought we'd give it a go. We were actually going to play Star Wars Legion today, but with the codex coming out in October, so much for October.
Oh well.
So, but
we'll be back with more Orc Battle Reports soon, though, won't we? Once you get your codex in hand.
Yeah, got to work out a date for the Christmas thing. And what we find at Christmas this time?
I'm not sure. So if you've watched our previous Christmas videos, we usually fight something really big, often a giant Christmas ham in the shape of a giant porcelain pig.
Well, that's lasted 2 years, and Gazgul's killed it. So
yeah, I know. We need something new, so we're basically going to have to go and hunt through ornament shops to find a giant animal.
So he's got his giant 3-headed dragon.
Oh yeah, we might do that actually. That would be quite cool.
That from him.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a giant horse?
I do have a giant porcelain horse somewhere. It's an antique, but we can stick it on the 40k table.
Your nan won't mind.
Yeah, as long as I'm having fun with it, she won't mind.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this one.
And is this game over? The Deathwatch are victorious?
I'd say it was a good game. It was just, unfortunate for killing models. And
yeah,
that, and
I like the mission. I much preferred it with the dragon jumping around a bit more. I felt that added a bit to it.
I think our last 2 of these ones could be this one, the dragon jumping,
and the alien one. The alien one was really good.
The alien one in the Zone Mortalis just appearing somewhere. I think it's something because the dragon's got wings. We can put it as jumping, like the spider and stuff. We find it'd be hard to make it jump.
Yeah, exactly.
We generally have more monsters on those.
Makes the game a bit more unpredictable. It's not super bad if the monster comes for you. There was a few more choices involved. It's just that you killed it so damn quick.
It's not my fault. It was easy to kill.
I made it as hard as feasibly possible.
It wasn't that hard.
No, obviously not. Not when Gazzy's attacking it 14 times. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. We shall head off there.
Yeah. All right. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.